most home bakers hit the same wall. Gorgeous cakes, little to no customers. But some break through and build steady streams of premium orders. What's the difference? Surprisingly, it's not talent. It's not because they're famous, and it's definitely not because they just happen to be in a wealthy area. Although all of these help, they are not the main drivers of success in the cake business. So, how do they get a steady stream of customers? Well, let me show you. Hi, I'm Maria Haversham, and after being featured as a home cake business expert in USA Today and other magazines, I've helped hundreds of home bakers go from friend orders to professional booking through Cake Designer Pro. And today I'll reveal the most effective way on how you can get customers for your home cake business, even if you're just getting started. All right, let's whisk this. So the first thing you need to understand is that the friends and family circle is actually working against you. I know, it may feel a bit scary to hear that, but just stay with me. You see, when I was starting out, my friend would order a birthday cake and be like, "Oh, Maria, this is amazing. You should totally sell this for more." But then she'd still pay me only $40 for something that took me 6 hours. Why tell me to charge more then? No, I get it. It was simple because she was my friend. Here's the thing, and this took me some time to figure out. People who know you personally can't separate Maria the person from Maria the cake artist. You're still just, cousin Maria who used to burn cookies in high school. But here's the real crumb of it. When you only bake for people you know, you're training yourself to undercharge. Every single order becomes this weird guilt thing where you're like, I can't charge Aunt Susan what this is actually worth. And then, this is the part that really gets me. You start believing that your cakes are worth $30, $50, maybe even $100 if you're feeling really bold. Meanwhile, total strangers are booking premium cake artists for $500, $600, $700 for the exact kind of work. Because strangers, they don't have this emotional baggage about what you should charge. So, if you're wondering why you can't break past that invisible ceiling, it's because you're stuck in a market that literally can't see your full value. And until you step outside that circle, you'll keep charging friend prices for professional work. The real shift, you need to start positioning yourself where strangers can find you. Because strangers judge your work by your work, not whether they remember you from high school. But here's what most bakers don't realize. Those premium customers, they're not hiding. They're actively looking for you right now. All you gotta do is just position yourself where they're already looking. Make sense? Okay, so if strangers are actually the answer, where exactly do you find these magical people who pay premium prices? Allow me to break down the recipe. First place, and this is where most bakers never think to look. Yes, local businesses. I'm talking about real estate offices, law firms, corporate offices, you name it. These people are celebrating constantly. New hires, promotions, client application events, office birthdays, milestones, this and that. Oh, and here's the sweet part. They have budgets for this stuff, like actual line items that say employee appreciation or client events. So when you reach out and say, I create custom celebration cakes for local businesses like yours, you're not asking them to spend their personal money. You're solving a business problem. Earlier this year, I had one of my cakepreneurs who reached out to a local law firm that does monthly deal closing celebrations. She knew someone who worked there and got the information that they spend $300 every month on desserts from the grocery store. $300 for store-bought sheet cake. So she offered to create custom congratulations cakes for the same price. And boom, $300 monthly recurring client. Second spot, event planners and party hosts in your area. Now, this is really sweet. They're basically like matchmakers between problems and solutions. Let me explain. They got clients asking, where can I get an amazing cake? And guess who's got amazing cakes? That's right, you've got amazing cakes. It's like when Ganache finally comes together. But here's what you gotta do. Don't just message them saying, hey, I make cakes. Instead, position yourself as their solution. I help event planners wow their clients with show-stopping celebration cakes. See the difference? And the third space, social media, but not how you might think. I know most bakers are posting and praying, hoping random people will stumble across their photos and somehow place an order. But when you're just starting out and nobody knows who you are, there's surely a better approach. You need to be showing up where your ideal customers already are hanging out. Mom groups for birthday party planning, planning, local community pages where people ask, anyone know a good baker? Wedding planning groups? That's where the conversations about cakes are already happening. You want to be helpful, not salesy. Join your local Facebook groups, the moms of your city or your town community pages. There, someone posts, help meet a baker for my daughter's Sweet 16. Here's your move. Don't just say, I make cakes, PM me. Instead, comment with, I specialize in milestone celebration cakes that make the birthday girl feel like the star she is. Let me send you some examples of recent Sweet 16 designs. Then DM with 3 gorgeous photos and your process. But here's the thing, being there isn't enough. You need to know exactly what to say when you show up with the right message. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Timing is everything when it comes to cake orders. And most bakers, they're completely missing the rhythm of how people actually buy cakes. See, people don't want to wake up on Tuesday thinking, I need a cake. They think about cakes when something's happening, a celebration, a milestone, a moment they want to make special. So here's what you need to understand. There are predictable celebration seasons where people are actively planning and budgeting for premium experiences. January, everyone's doing New Year, New Goals celebrations. February and March, Valentine's Day, graduations, spring birthdays, Easter brunches. But here's the little secret ingredient that most people miss. You don't want to wait for them to start planning. You show up right before they realize that they need you. Like in December, while everyone's focused on Christmas, you're already posting about New Year, New Beginnings celebrations cakes. In February, you're showcasing your Mother's Day designs. You're always thinking 3 to 4 weeks ahead of when people start panicking about their events. And here's what you actually do. Create a content calendar around these celebration months. Not just, here's the pretty cake I made, but planning your graduation party, here's why a custom cake becomes the centerpiece everyone remembers. Now, let's talk about the big money moments. The life events where people don't think twice about spending some serious cash. Weddings, obviously, but also baby showers for first-time moms, milestone birthdays. We're talking 30th, 40th, 50th, Sweet 16s, retirement parties. The psychology is that at these moments, people aren't buying a cake. They're buying the feeling of, I did everything I could to make this special. They're buying the story that they'll tell for years about how perfect everything was. So when you're positioning yourself, you're not selling cakes. You're selling those moments. I create centerpiece cakes that make milestone birthdays unforgettable. I design celebration cakes that capture the joy of your daughter's Sweet 16. Sell the moment. Sell the experience, not the cake. Here's where most bakers mess up. They wait for customers to find them. Instead, you need to become the first name that pops into people's heads when they're planning something special. And there's a way to do this. So, you know those moments when you see a cake photo and immediately think, wow, this person knows what they're doing? That's not an accident. That's actually a formula. See, here's what most bakers get wrong about photos. They think it's about showing off their technical skill. So they post these super close-up shots of perfect fondant work or intricate piping details. And yeah, other bakers love that stuff, but customers, they're thinking something completely different. When a potential customer looks at your photos, they're not asking, is this fondant smooth? They're asking, will this person make me look good? Like, will my guests be impressed? Will this cake be photographed well for my Instagram? Will I feel confident serving this? The truth is, customers buy competence, not perfection. So, what's the right way to do this? I call it the visual trust formula, and here's why it works. Basically, every photo needs to answer 3 questions. Can this person handle my event? Will this cake fit my style? And will I feel proud serving this? First part, context shots. Instead of just the cake on your kitchen counter, show it in an actual celebration setting. The birthday girl's face lighting up when she sees it. The cake on the party table with all the decoration. People actually enjoying it. Here's what you actually do. When you deliver a cake, bring your phone. Take a quick shot of the cake in its actual environment. That dining room table setup, that outdoor party scene. Those are the photos that make people think, yes, this is exactly what I want for my event. Second part, the money shot. Every cake needs one hero photo that stops the scroll. This isn't about perfect lighting or fancy camera equipment. It's about showing the full impact of what you created. Here's my simple setup. Natural light from a window, clean background. I literally use a white poster board from the dollar store and shoot slightly above the cake looking down. That's it. No fancy ring lights or expensive cameras. But here's the secret. Take that same shot from 3 angles. Straight on, 45 degrees, and from above, because different angles tell different stories. The straight shot shows the design, the angle shot shows dimension, and the overhead shows the full experience. And the third part, this is huge, lifestyle integration. Show how your cakes become part of people's special moments. Not just, here's a wedding cake, but here's the moment the bride saw her dream cake come to life. Now, here's where this all comes together. When someone stumbles across your Instagram or your Facebook page, they should immediately know 3 things: what you specialize in, what kind of experience you create, and why they should trust you with their celebration. But getting the photos right is only half the battle. You need a system that turns those viewers into actual paying customers, from 0 inquiries to steady bookings. Okay, so now you got the photos, you know where to find the customers, but how do you actually turn them into a steady stream of bookings? Because posting pretty pictures and hoping for the best, that's not a business strategy. Here's the thing about steady bookings. They don't come from random strangers finding you. They come from building a system that works even when you're not actively hustling. And that system, it's built on 3 ingredients: partnerships, leverage, and follow through. Let me break down the partnership strategy first, because this is how you go from 0 to being booked without spending months building an audience from scratch. Remember those event planners I mentioned? Here's exactly what you do. Reach out to 3 local event planners this week, not to sell them cakes, but to offer them something valuable. I'd love to create a complimentary dessert for your next styled shoot or client appreciation event. No strings attached, just want to support local creatives. You give first and sell later. Here's what happens. They use your cake, their clients see it, photos get shared, and suddenly you're the baker that so-and-so event planner recommends. One good partnership can book you solid for months. But here's the real secret sauce: leverage. Every happy customer should turn into 5 more customers. But most bakers never ask for this. Huge mistake. So, when you deliver a cake and the customer's face lights up, that's your moment. Not to be pushy, but to plant a seed. I'm so glad you love it. I'd love to be your go-to for celebrations. Do you have any friends who love throwing parties? Most people are happy to recommend someone who just made them look amazing. But you gotta make it easy for them. Give them your card and say, if anyone asks about your cake, just send them my way. I always take extra good care of referrals. Now here's where most bakers completely drop the ball. Follow through. Someone inquires about a cake, you send them a quote, and then crickets. Radio silence. You assume they're not interested and move on. Wrong move. Here's what's actually happening. They're probably showing your quote to their spouse, trying to fit it into their budget, or comparing options. That silence, it's not rejection. It's processing time. So here's your follow-up system. If someone doesn't respond to your quote within 48 hours, you send a gentle check-in. Hi, just wanted to make sure you received my proposal. I know planning celebrations can feel overwhelming. I'm here if you have any questions. Then, if it's been a week with no response, you send what I call the door closing message. I know you're probably busy planning, so I'll stop following you up after this. If you decide you'd like to move forward, I have availability through specific date. Otherwise, I hope your celebration is absolutely wonderful. You'd be amazed how many people respond to that final message with, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, let's book this." But here's the thing that ties all of this together. You need to be running this system consistently, not just when you need orders. 1 partnership meeting per week, 1 follow-up to past inquiries, 1 reach out to potential collaborators, because the bakers who stay booked, they're not just talented, they're systematic about staying visible to the right people at the right moments. So let's whisk this all together. If you're tired of staying stuck in that friends and family circle, making gorgeous cakes but never finding real paying customers, you now know exactly what to do. Stop waiting for customers to magically appear. Start positioning yourself where premium customers are already looking. Local businesses with celebration budgets, event planners who need reliable cake artists, and social media groups where people are actively asking for help. Show up with the right message at the right celebration moments. Create photos that build trust and make people think, yes, this is exactly what I want from my event. Build a system of partnerships and follow through that keeps bookings coming even when you're not actually actively hustling. Here's the thing though, getting customers is crucial. But before you even start putting yourself out there, you need to avoid these common mistakes that kill cake businesses before they even get started. Because I see talented bakers sabotage themselves every single day with pricing errors, positioning mistakes, and mindset traps that keep them stuck charging friend prices for professional work. So watch this video about the wrong way to start a cake business. Trust me, knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do, if not more. And once you avoid these pitfalls, that customer acquisition system we just talked about becomes 10 times more effective. Now, go turn those beautiful cakes into the business you actually deserve.